बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। हाणे सदर साहब त घणो ई कुझु चए थो, मां त हुनखे जनरल मुशर्रफ नेशनल फाइनेंस कमीशन जी ज़रूरत ई कान्हे। ऐं ही जेका असांजा ग़ुलाम सूबा आहिनि या हिननि में जेके सरकारूं आहिनि हुननि खे हवाले करे छॾियो आहे उनखे सदर खे, त तूं हाणे अवॉर्ड ॾे। ऐं वही कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन किथे ऐं प्रोविजन्स हुन जा विया समुंड में। सो दिस इज़ द स्टेट। मुझो सब्जेक्ट अहिड़ो आहे जेके अंग्रेज़ी में इन ते ॻाल्हाइण कुझु सवलो थींदो, त मूंखे इजाज़त महिरबानी सां ॾींदा। Now before we come to considering the formation of an independent National Finance Commission and considering how the distribution of resources can be justly made, allow me to describe how servile and lacking in independence the present, or whatever you may call it, the past National Finance Commission has been. Article 160 of the Constitution prescribes it as the duty of the National Finance Commission. Akhar jeko istemal theo hai, duty hai, nothing less, to make recommendations on the distribution between the Federation and the provinces of the net proceeds of taxes which lie in the divisible pool. Ruko 4 taxes hain, India mein 11 hain. Okay. The making of grants in aid by the federal government to the provincial government, and the exercise by the federal government and provincial governments of the borrowing power conferred by the Constitution. मतलब ये आखिरी वाले ते NFC के इख्तियार आए ते इन्हें ते supervise करे दस ये जो federal government है ये केतरो लोन थी खड़े कितना थी खड़े छो थी खड़े. Now these two items, the grants in aid and the borrowing power supervision, are never brought on the agenda of the NFC. All these 40 years or whatever that the NFC in one form or the other has been, the only item that is brought is the distribution between the Federation and the provinces of the net divisible pool. So, in actual practice, the NFC does not deliberate upon the distribution of taxes between the centre and the provinces. The Constitution enjoins upon the NFC to determine as to what shall be the share of the federal government and that of the provinces. This the NFC does not do. It is given no opportunity to examine the total receipt of taxes. It is simply informed by the Ministry of Finance that the total share of the four provinces shall be such and such. And from there on, the provinces commence their begging to the Finance Ministry to increase their shares. They also quarrel amongst themselves as to what should be each one's share. The end result, of course, is an impasse which you have witnessed during these past 4 years. The constitutional duty to stipulate what shall be the share of the federal government is denied to the NFC. It just watches over there, being a handmaiden of the Finance Ministry. Now this mode of working was witnessed by me at least for 4 years, but I know that it has existed for more than 4 decades. So far, or thus far, the NFC meetings have been an assemblage of 2 sets of adversaries. One is the giver, the so-called federal government, in reality hardly federal. If you talk about it, Pakistan being a federation, there should be a partnership between Subas. Pakistan is the worst unitary military type of government. So that worst type is the giver, and though the other side consists of as that the central government does on your money, on our money, it is authorized to collect the taxes which are in the divisible pool. All right. It is supposed to charge for this collection a fee which should be actuals. The actuals have been determined year after year by the Auditor General to be no more than 1%, less than 1%. At the most, the Constitution says that you can charge 2%. But no, year after year, the Central Ministry of Finance charges 5%. And you know how much is 5%? It is as much as the share annually of Balochistan province. It is more than 5 billion rupees. That is what they charge simply to collect your money, and they deprive you of that much. Exhortations have been made to them, कि Baba, this is not the actual charge. Your CBR pagar magar hetri konti the, tama etra kharch konta kayo, chota vato. But no, they promise that, okay, we'll look into it, but beyond that, nothing happens. Then, as you know, in no federation of the world is population the sole criteria to distribute your resources. There are other criterion like underdevelopment, distances as there are in Balochistan, state of poverty, state of backwardness. Again, these pleas have been made repeatedly. I did not fail my province. Every year I used to fight that, look, you consider these criteria, let us have a discussion in the NFC. There was no debate, was no discussion. Very charmingly, the last man, Shaukat Aziz, who incidentally is not empowered by the Constitution to be the chairman. He harubaru jo chairman thi hua by, you can say, practice and what you call the convention, not legality. Legally, any of them can be, any wazir from the center, any of those other 4 members could be a chairman. The Constitution and the rules thereunder are silent. Yet no debate was allowed. Then our case was that because almost 70%, in 2002, 69.02% of revenues of Pakistan were collected in Sindh. Therefore, for making this great effort, Sindh should get a small recompense. Now, agreed, there are people from all over the country over here, and they too